Hello everyone and welcome to this video number 8. What if there's a genius in you? And when I mention genius, it's not about what I refer to is not about your intellect, but it's more about this part in you that is connected to the unified field, that is connected to the infinite possibilities. This genius, as I said, is not your intellect, but it's more about this. Some people will call it the infinite being, your higher self. Some people will call it our knowing, the knowing, our intuition in us. So yes, so this is our genius that is in us. And how did I discover that? Is that I was in an association for 10 years to finally realize that I had 4 licenses with them, and I asked the question about, okay, if I renew my license, what will my life be? What will the planet be in 10 years? And it was creating a smaller world for me and for the planet. So I decided to not renewing any of the licenses, and I asked question to the universe. I asked, okay, universe, if it's not my path to continue on this path, what is it for me? And I receive brain and nervous system. So I said, okay, cool, the brain. And I knew that for my nervous system. I said, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to free the nervous system from what I lived from the past. So I continued to ask questions to the universe until I discovered the work of Gary Flint. Gary Flint is a Canadian psychologist who work with people who had I think with other kind of people, but people who had mental illness. And what he discovered is that he discovered that the brain, the subconscious, is part of the brain that is present. He discovered that it has some capacity that has never been discovered before. Of course, the psychology knew that this part of the brain could be observer in our lives. But what he discovered is that we can communicate with our superconscious, and this is the part of us that has always been present to everything we live in our life. So he knows all about our memory from this lifetime and from past life as well. And what it is, and this part of us, this genius, the subconscious, he discovered at the same time that he has never been touched, never been hurt. He has been present in everything we live, as traumatic, as wonderful as it has been, but it has never been affected by any of that. So the work of Gary Flint has been, I would say, taken by someone else, took it, Colette Stryker and her son Valentin, just took back the work that he took back with, of course, with Gary Flint's approval, and they enrich the technique that he discovered, and it is, yeah, what is it about that is that, and sorry, I have so many things I want to tell you right now. So this genius that for him he called it the superconscious, Colette Stryker received the awareness that what if we call it superconscious instead of subconscious? And she asked Gary Flint, and he says, yeah, do whatever you want with this. So from now on, I'm going to talk about this part of the brain that is the subconscious. I will call it the superconscious. So, sorry. So what Gary Flint discovered is that we can communicate with our superconscious, who knows everything about us. He knows from the past, but at the same time, he is our infinite being. So we can ask things for our future as well, because he knows everything about us. He is our knowing. So he discovered that he began to communicate and receive some information that could really help and heal people where other professional in his profession could not attain these results. So if it can work with people who have mental illness, it can work with people who don't have it at all. And what it consists of is to communicate with our superconscious, asking questions, and our superconscious can guide us, will tell us where to go in us. Well, that's a technique that I learned. I've been certified this last summer, and it will guide me to uh, to give him instruction so it can really undo whatever is stuck in you or whatever create limitation in you. Because if you are like me, you know that there's something so much more in your life than what you live right now. And the superconscious is really there it can be really a great ally for us to go and undo what blocks us. We know, we know when we are blocked, we know when we desire something and we don't have the energy. We have a sense that we don't have the energy, we don't have the resources inside of us. Well, it's because something is blocked. We live some, and well, some experience in our life. And for me, the thing was, I was not aware, but I was very traumatized inside of me. My nervous system was blocked, was by some trauma. And by undoing this trauma, slowly and surely, and what I like with this technique is that it goes so in deep, it goes so in depth. And this is where I needed to go for me to move on with my life. I could not move on with the other amazing tool that I had in the past, but could not help me to move on, could not contribute for me to move on. And with the superconscious, what is amazing is that I don't need to be aware of what happened, of what the superconscious is clearing. I just need to give the instruction, and then and the superconscious will do the rest. One thing that I love about in this domain for me is that the more I learn about clearing the limitation in me, the more I realize it becomes simpler, faster, and more efficient. Of course, the work with the superconscious takes the time. It takes the time that it requires to take. We have to give the space for the superconscious to do this, and during a session, people have to relax because it allows the body, the superconscious to do the work in the body, to release from the body the memories that prevent us from being at ease with who we really are. So that's what I wanted to talk about that with you today. If you are interested to try and prepare the field inside of you with your superconscious, I do individual session with people, and I'm going to do group session later. I'm preparing right now a coaching program at that level. And in this first intro session, we will make the connection with your superconscious, and you will choose something that you want to work on, and you're going to experience your superconscious the way that it works inside of you. Most of the time, it's unconscious, right? Because this is in the unconscious that our limitation are. And as long as we don't do this, we are in front of walls, we are in front of difficulties, and the more we undo this, the more ease we have, the more flow we have to move on with our lives. So if you're interested, I offer a session, 1 hour session or 2 hour session. Go on my website, edithpaul.com, under booking, and you have the choice right there. So I will be happy to create a session with you, and I will follow up with other video to share with you what I learned lately, that just sometimes it's just a simple thing, a subtlety, but that creates so much change, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. Goodbye. Have a great day. Bye-bye.